welcome to Smashterpieces, a casual walk through the history of the Super Smash Bros. Ultimate roster. My name is Joe.
And my name is Matt.
And if you're new here, what we usually do on this show is we're playing one game for every character in Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, from 1984's Duck Hunt to 2019's Fire Emblem Three Houses, but that's not what we're doing here. Happy New Year, I guess. Actually, I think this is going to go up on New Year's Eve, so it's still thematically appropriate to say. I don't know.
We made it.
Did we? I guess by certain definitions we made it.
We did something.
We did something. So, I mean, we could already probably assume the answer just from that, but how was your year?
You know, if last year was the year that went by in like 3 minutes, this year took forever.
See, I disagree, because this year also felt like it went by in 2 seconds.
No, I don't. This one just, I don't know. It's so much. There's so much.
Yeah, so much. And we're not going to jump into most of it because this isn't supposed to be a downer episode, but there's only so much we can do.
Only so much we could do about the world. The world that we live in.
Large. So last year we did sort of a little wrap-up episode to end the year and just sort of sat down and we're like, yeah, we did this year, and et cetera, et cetera. And I thought it would be nice to do it again. I think it was a pretty easy bonus episode to get out there. Obviously, Sunshine isn't out yet because I haven't finished it at time of recording. Though at time of release, I might have finished it. I don't know. We'll see.
I doubt it.
Gonna be really up in the air. I also kind of doubt it. But it's been a long year, everybody. And last year, what we sort of did was we sat down and went over the episodes that came out and the games that were about them and just sort of gave some thoughts and then looked towards the future.
We've been keeping a weirdly consistent pace of 10 games each year.
Yeah, it's a little bit bizarre, huh?
Like, even when we go, like, entire months without releasing something because, like, life just gets in the way, like, it all just coalesces on 10 episodes a year.
Yeah, the gap between Pac-Man and Kingdom Hearts was, like, 2 months. And still, we made it to the 10th game. At the beginning of the year, though, we started with Banjo-Tooie. Which...
That was forever ago.
That was so long ago that I actually couldn't remember if it was in 2021 or not. But it came out on January 18th, 2021. Banjo-Tooie is a video game that Rare made in 2002.
It took us, like, an unreasonable amount of time to get through, too.
Well, it took us an unreasonable amount of time, half because, like, a bunch of shit started happening on your end, I think. But then also, doing anything in Banjo-Tooie took 7,000 years.
Yeah, that game's too much.
Yeah, it's way too much, and it's just too involved, and I didn't think I was going to come out of Banjo-Tooie, like, actually kind of strongly disliking it. But I don't think I ever want to play Banjo-Tooie again.
It gives me a lot of context for, like, how when I was a kid, I never really finished it.
And I can't imagine why. Is it because you need so many I think my favorite part of that whole episode was you pointing out that you need roughly the same amount of Jiggies in Banjo-Kazooie than you do to get to the final boss of Banjo-Tooie. And yet Banjo-Kazooie does not feel like it's that long.
Well, no, it wasn't that. You need more in Banjo-Kazooie. Like,
right.
Banjo-Kazooie needs you to, like, I think they both have 100 Jiggies, right? But in the first game, you need 96. And it doesn't feel like you have to get 96% of all Jiggies in the game because it doesn't suck in that game.
Yeah, meanwhile in Tooie, it's just getting there is such a slog. Mm-hmm. Oh. Banjo-Tooie just... I think that's one of the biggest surprises I had this year of, like, Banjo-Tooie isn't as good as I remember it being that one time I played it on the Nintendo 64.
And it's also weird, like, it doesn't really have a very bad reputation. Like, I feel like there's zero question in my mind now that the first game is just so much better in so many ways. But, like,
100%.
People still love the second one, and I'm not sure it's that deserved.
I mean, even then, those same people will still say, like, but Kazooie's better. Like, in every possible way.
Yeah.
So, kind of a weird vibe to start the year off.
It's a shame there was only ever one good Banjo game.
We're told that Nuts and Bolts is fine. I've never played it. I still haven't. Probably won't at any point anytime soon, but I don't know. Then in February 20th, 2021, we actually released a bonus episode. And that's on Sonic Adventure 2.
Shit, it was, wasn't it?
Yeah, I forgot that was this year.
I just remember, like, I feel like in my memory we, like, didn't do bonus episodes this year, but we did get a couple out.
Yeah, we kind of, so, little behind the curtain stuff for everybody. We have, like, 5 bonus episodes where we're like, yeah, we're ready to record this. We should do so. And the first time we said that was 3 months ago, and then we just didn't.
I mean, there is one game that we were planning to do a bonus episode on, and it's like I finished the game, and that was 2 months ago, and I don't remember the game well enough to record now. So
I had finished that game like 4 months before that.
No, you finished that game like well earlier than that. Like, you had finished, like, by the time you suggested this game for a bonus episode, you had finished it a month earlier already.
Oh boy. But yeah, it's I didn't like Sonic Adventure 2, but you don't need to know why. I mean, but that shouldn't be surprising if you've ever heard me talk about anything before, but it's like one of your favorite games of all time.
Yeah, and I don't think it's aged well at all, but I think that I think for the time it was pretty awesome, and I think that there are still things in it that have merit. But there's definitely some bullshit.
Yeah.
And we didn't go into this on the bonus episode, obviously, because no way would you have ever done this. But 100%ing that game is too much.
And yet you want to do it on stream soon.
Well, so here's the thing. 100%ing Kingdom Hearts 2 is too much.
Oh, it is. 100%.
I am nothing if not consistent.
So, yeah, I
also just checked that bonus episode game we were talking about. You finished it in April. And you were insisting, like, no, I remember it well enough. We could record, like, right now in, like, November.
I'm pretty sure I still do. Which is weird, because I usually don't really have enough of a cache of memory to remember anything. But, I think it was really neat, because we'd already gotten that with me, where it's like, this is one of my favorite games of all time. It fucking sucks. It's not good. And that was with Donkey Kong last year? Was that last year? Oh, God. Was that in 2000?
It was during 2020, I think, yeah.
Oh, boy. That feels so much longer ago.
I'm looking at your spreadsheet that has it broken up into every 10 games, which does legitimately line up with each year.
Yeah, it's
exactly
interesting. That was not intentional. It just sort of seems to happen.
Mm-hmm.
Even as games have been getting longer, though granted, there are some of these chunks where it's like, here's 3 big JRPGs. Good luck getting through 10 of them this year. So then after that, we actually, on March 3rd, 2021, the game that pulled you into a hole that I've never seen either of us get pulled into so hard, being Pokemon Puzzle League.
So I feel like people look at, like, my really long streams for that game and, like, kind of misunderstand why they were so long. And it was because I knew that I couldn't play this game off stream, because what a fucking disaster it would be if I beat Mewtwo off stream. But I also just really, really liked the game and just wanted to play more of it. So the only way during that month that I could play a lot of the game was by streaming it for 7 hours.
And you did that like 3 times.
Yeah. So there is a certain level of, like, when we are doing these games for Smashterpieces, we can only play them on stream in some circumstances. So
unless it's like a JRPG and you're specifically just grinding.
Yeah.
Because I did that with FF7 and Earthbound a lot.
Yeah, like I didn't do a 7-hour stream of that game because I wanted to be streaming until 2 a.m. I did it because I wouldn't be able to play the game for another full week.
Yeah, you got like really, really into it, and it was very interesting to see, especially when it was like I would go do something for work or something, and I would come back and you're still going, and I'd been gone for 3 hours, and you'd started like 2 hours before I left.
I really like it. I still play it pretty often.
I liked it fine.
Like, it's kind of sad that Panel de Pon is just kind of dead.
Yeah. Yeah, that is very unfortunate.
There is like a fan-made spiritual successor that like I have on my Steam wish list, but like it still doesn't have a release date.
I think what is it called?
That's Swapette Showdown.
Ah, is Pedal Crash like Panel de Pon? I don't know. I don't think it is actually.
Is what like Panel de Pon?
Pedal Crash.
I don't think I've even heard of that.
I only know about it because it's another one of those games where, oh no, I've forgotten his name. The Best Friends character.
Oh, the Baz.
The Baz, yeah, he's in that game.
Okay.
And I think it's a puzzle action game in some form, but I don't know if it's specifically Panel de Pon.
What's it called? Pedal Crash?
Pedal Crash, yeah.
This looks similar-ish to Panel de Pon, but it's definitely not Panel de Pon.
Okay. Yeah, I don't think I've ever seen, like, gameplay of it. I just know of its existence. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was very interesting in that we did 2 puzzle action games this year.
One of them was better than the other.
And I think the like contrast between those 2 is fascinating. But we'll get to that in a second.
Oh my god, the most recent Panel de Pon game was a mini game included in the Amiibo DLC for Animal Crossing New Leaf.
Wait, whose Amiibo unlocked it?
It was just part of it.
That's okay. Sure. Whatever you got, I guess. Here's a weird one. April 1st, 2021. Did an episode on Halo. For John Halo.
Well, yeah, I mean that's our April Fool's episodes. But
yeah,
it's interesting, like looking back on that, especially with Halo Infinite coming out this year and everything. And I do still think that it would be fun if we played Halo 2 someday.
I also agree with that, but the PC version's got to work, or I have to pay for Game Pass on Xbox again, or buy it. But I don't know if I want to buy it.
Well, wasn't the problem that we were trying me on PC with you on Xbox and we couldn't get that to connect, so then we just both went Xbox?
It was both of us on PC, and it just refused to let us join the game.
It might have also, I think one of us was on Steam and the other was on Xbox app, maybe. That was a big problem.
Might have been, because I was on Xbox app.
Which, fun fact, Halo Infinite has that problem.
So it just never got fixed. Even when they make one that's apparently good.
The easy solution is just both of us be on the same app, so.
Yeah, probably. I still have Game Pass for PC. My only worry is that it requires me to fucking install all 5 games.
Well, you can then go in and uninstall the others.
Yeah, but then you can't install the others again without uninstalling and reinstalling, as we learned.
They might have fixed that. I don't know.
I doubt it. But I had never played Halo. The Xbox One I played Banjo-Tooie on is the only Xbox I've ever owned in my life, and also I haven't turned it on since we did Banjo-Tooie.
Well, no, you turned it on for Halo.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, okay. I turned it on for Halo, and I think actually Man of Medan, when I played it with Ben, might have been after the Banjo-Tooie stuff. The point is, I don't use my Xbox. It hasn't been turned on in months.
I feel like Halo 2 co-op is the kind of thing we could stream someday, because that game is just like good for chaotic fun.
Oh, probably. We had a good time playing the first game in co-op, and I don't know, in a clippable environment, that seems fun. You can see those streams at twitch.tv/Nintendo World Report, by the way.
Mm-hmm. I think generally we should find more co-op streams. Like, we're doing plenty of like streams with both of us on camera, but we're not doing a lot of streams where we are actually playing a video game together, and I think we should try to find more of those. Yeah,
the problem is most of the co-op games I own on PC.
Mm-hmm.
And streaming on PC
is hard.
It sucks.
It's even harder when you're playing a game that uses a separate .exe for the menu and the game.
Man, what game
Thanks, Alex.
Thanks. That's another thing, by the way. If you like Mario Party, first Friday of every month, we've been doing Mario Party Monthly. And it's been a lot of fun. And Matt had to play League of Legends. And I already have a specific consequence game ready for you if I ever get into that position.
The last place loser must stream a game chosen by the first place winner.
Yep.
So I got to play League of Legends, which you cannot make me do that again. The experience of streaming League of Legends is like I literally have to show my entire desktop because there's no other way for me to do it.
That wouldn't be my choice, don't you worry. But in April 21st of 2021, we talked about Pokemon Stadium 2, which I enjoyed and you didn't quite dig super hard.
I enjoyed it, but that enjoyment comes with a big asterisk. Yeah. Because I do think that it is really cool that Gym Leader Castle was set up with competitive teams in mind. I think that is like genuinely really great. But the problem is that they start messing with the RNG once you get further in, and that's I don't find that acceptable.
Yeah, specifically with Red, because you didn't end up beating Red, mainly because it started to become clear that the game was playing by different rules for him than it was for you, and at that point, no, I think you're fully in your right to say, haha, no, fuck that. I'm good. Goodbye.
Yeah, I'm not interested in a game that literally cheats.
Yeah, it's and I didn't really have that issue mainly because I somehow stumbled into the most powerful Pokemon team I've ever had in my life between the Alakazam and the Snorlax. Just fucking absolutely destroying everything about anybody's team.
Just messing it all up.
But like, it was also fun, despite the fact that it was also a fucking disaster. It was also really fun to play the minigames and all that. I think the minigames are a really underrated part of like Pokemon Stadium, and I wish we were able to play it in an environment that actually, you know,
worked.
Because we had this. You're not gonna hear us say this very often, but I don't give a shit saying this about this game.
We're what, 20 minutes into the 2021 wrap up. Nintendo's not listening.
They're not listening, but also like they've never re-released either of the Stadium games, and they're never going to. We had to use Project 64 to fucking play Pokemon Stadium 2.
Not just Project 64. Project 64 on Parsec.
Yeah. Well, for the minigames specifically, we had to do Parsec, which it turns out Parsec doesn't like Project 64.
No, it was like the perfect confluence of bullshit to specifically not work in our exact scenario.
It was like it. If I remember correctly,
and then a week later, Project 64 gets its first major update in a decade.
Yeah, like fuck you. But also like at a certain point, I think the problem was, if I remember correctly, sometimes it would just decide, oh, you don't need to see the picture anymore. Fuck you. The inputs still work, but you don't get to see the game.
Yep.
It was really fucking stupid.
I think there was a point where the input was still working, but you couldn't see it through Parsec, so I was Discord streaming it to you.
Yeah, no, that's how we ended up doing it halfway through, because it wouldn't work otherwise. And it was the stupidest. And I still had fun with them. I think the minigames in Pokemon Stadium 2 are just a ton of fun.
Project 64 is a terrible emulator, though.
Boy, is it. Boy, is it.
Well, I don't know. Maybe after that first major update in a decade, maybe it's better. But
I'm not willing to go try. I'm not willing to go see, especially now that we have an official bad emulator that I can go mess with. Which, you're welcome, by the way, everybody. That was us. We did that.
It sure was.
Speaking
of, guess what game you can play on that?
Do you mean the next game that we did an episode on May 21st, 2021, Dr. Mario 64, re-released in North America for the first time ever?
Mm-hmm. Sure do.
Of all the games to just be on there by default. I
don't like Dr. Mario.
Yeah, I didn't enjoy Dr. Mario 64. And for a lot of these, if you want like in-depth feelings on the games, like just go listen to the episodes. That's kind of what they're there for. But needless to say, neither of us really liked it. You at least finished it.
I
can't say
sure
that.
did. That was my punishment game for Xander for Mario Party, and he finished it faster than I did.
Yeah, I was there to see that. That was oh boy, that was a thing. But like, Dr. Mario 64 is just not great.
It's rough.
It's the first game of the entire list where I hit a point where I was like, oh, I can't do this. I can't do this. I'm going to be miserable if I do this, and not in like the fun way. I can't do it. And I believe it was my first abort mission. I don't think I've aborted any of the other missions.
I feel like you did one before that, but only one.
I don't think I did, actually.
Did you beat Rondo of Blood?
Yeah, I finished Rondo of Blood. I just didn't stream it.
Oh, Star Fox 64.
Ah, yes. I didn't get the second ending in Star Fox 64. That's
which I do still think now that you have a Nintendo 64 controller to play that game on, I think you'll have a better time if you want to go back and try that again.
And we'd also be able to do multiplayer, which we've been talking about doing a multiplayer stream for all the N64 stuff on NSO at some point, and we probably will soon, but we don't really have like a time ready for that yet.
There's no real plan.
Yeah, but yeah, I didn't enjoy Dr. Mario, and neither did you, and that's unfortunate. But hey,
those sprites are pretty cool, though.
Yeah, like really well detailed for a Nintendo 64 game during a period when sprites weren't allowed. Speaking of things you can thank us for, on June 14th, 2021, we released a bonus episode on New Pokemon Snap.
Probably the most willed into existence we have ever done for anything.
Literally like the day after we recorded.
Which, by the way, Metroid Prime's coming real soon. If you guys have heard any rumors for the trilogy coming to Switch, that's us.
Yeah.
Don't worry.
If it releases...
We'll get there real soon.
Here's the thing. It's not going to get there until, like, maybe near the end of next year once we've finished 2.
Well,
that's the moment it'll come out.
So the best part is I've heard rumors that it might just be the first one coming to Switch, in which case, like, we're going to finish it, and then they're going to announce it the next day.
Why is it this way? I'm still not convinced Nintendo isn't listening to this show.
I believe in some form of God now.
We are cursed.
It's hard not to.
The best one will be, and I've mentioned this somewhere before,
Mother 3.
If Mother 3 somehow comes out after we're done with it, that's going to be alright, so it turns out that we are actually divinely chosen by something, whether that be God or Satan.
we're gonna finish Path of Radiance, and then they're gonna finally reissue that game. They're not even going to remake it. They're just gonna print more GameCube discs.
That, or after Path of Radiance, that'll be our last GameCube exclusive, meaning the path will be open for GameCube games on Nintendo Switch Online. Granted, that's not going to happen, but
yeah, GameCube games are like 4 gigabytes. That's where it starts to get a little much. Or no, GameCube games are a gigabyte, but still, like the NSO app would be hefty.
Yeah, it sure would. But yeah, that's, I think, Mother 3. Mother 3's the real test, which is, funnily enough, right after Path of Radiance. So we can have a 1-2 punch of curse.
Oh, not to mention the 1,000-year door remaster everyone wants.
Oh, no!
Or even a brand new F-Zero game. We're in for a good year.
We're going to summon this unnaturally good year to all of you, and you can thank us later.
You know, Crisis Core has also never been re-released.
Yeah, but that one can't be. Unless whatever that guy's name is, Gacked?
Maybe they'll just work something out.
Anyways, new Pokemon Snap is fine. It was a good game. I enjoyed it, but I do think it has some fucking problems.
Yeah, it's fine.
Like,
it's good.
Why did they put grinding into Pokemon Snap? Nobody wanted that. Nobody asked for that, and it's not good.
Yeah, it's kind of like there's like different schools of thought on like when this franchise has been dormant for 20 years. Do you need to come out with something new, or do you need to come out with something that is just more of the same? And I'm pretty sure the answer isn't something that is somehow a little worse than what we had before.
And like that's such a problem Nintendo has in general. Because, like, look at F-Zero. They've said, like, straight up, or Star Fox, like, oh, those games haven't come out because nobody's figured out how to do something new with them. And it's like, all right, but it's been a decade.
Yeah, and, like,
Just make one.
I think New Pokemon Snap is good. I don't think it's a bad game, but, like, it's got so much more padding and bullshit than the original did. And it's kind of like, I almost wish you just made it as like short and barely content as the first one.
Even I think that you could have all of the content that the original had in this game. You just need to make it so that it unlocks when you finish a level. Hey, you finished the nighttime version of this level? Congratulations. Here's fucking the next course. And not, sorry, you have to go through all of these levels 6 times and make sure you get multiple new photos.
And like, if you're gonna make me unlock them, like, give me literally any idea how the unlocking system works.
Yeah. So, New Pokemon Snap has some issues, but I do think it was among my favorite. It might be in my top 10 this year. I don't know. I haven't actually put that together.
Yeah,
yet.
I don't think it's a bad game. It's just like there's some big things in it that are like, come on, really?
Yeah. Then I'm excited to look back on this one. July 14th, 2021. Animal Crossing. Still the coolest thing we've ever done for this show so far.
It was really fun, I think. To the point that like we've been like we considered like, should we like just do this again instead of playing Happy Home Designer?
Yeah, let's just do it for New Leaf has been some of the talk. We haven't fully decided if we're going to do that yet. Mm-hmm. But I think that would be I think that would be a blast.
Yeah.
It
just ended up being
so
really
good.
Fun.
Yeah, it was such a good time. Just it not only in like seeing how the video ended up being put together, but just like in our chats while the game was going on. Or the lore that all 4 of us separately built for each of these characters, and yet all of us had the exact same reaction of, Tom is a criminal and must be stopped. Tom the cat, not Tom Nook. Yeah, it was just fun. It was really, really fun.
I still would not say that I had fun playing Animal Crossing, but like, the act of editing the videos and like crafting the narrative out of it and finding the narrative threads to focus on in the editing, that was really fun in itself. Like,
you did a really fucking good job on it too. Like, you knocked that shit out of the park.
I did okay, I guess. It took me like 3 times as long as it should have.
I mean, it's what, 4 episodes that are like 3 hours each?
Yeah,
that's
but
a lot of video.
It could have been done in like February if I was actually regularly working on it. And instead, we had to take a week off from showing the videos because I still wasn't done.
But it all worked out in the end. I think so far it is my favorite thing we have done for Smashterpieces. I think we talked about Minecraft also being done that way, where it's pre-recorded and just going to be put out in edited parts. Mm-hmm. Because that seems like the best way to do that, instead of, all right, we need 8 people who are always free on Thursday nights, and
for how long? Don't know. Let's find out.
Who knows? We're just going to find out together. It'll be better to just be like, all right, when is everybody free? Cool. This is the time slot we're going. We're just going to record it separately, and it'll come out when we get to Minecraft. Mm-hmm. So look forward to that. I think that'll also be really fun. We've also thought about trying to figure out like proximity voice chat for that.
I think that would be really cool if we could do that.
I think that would be really, really fun, and I hope that's something we're able to do. So then on August 9th, 2021, we had Luigi's Mansion, which I still really love. Luigi's Mansion. That game is still just great.
Yeah, it holds up. It's...
Honestly, I'd say it holds up than both of its... Honestly, I'd say it holds up better than both of its sequels.
I would agree with that. Because this is the only Luigi's Mansion game that feels like they really had an idea for it instead of an obligation to continue a franchise.
Mm-hmm. And I like Luigi's Mansion 3. I want to put that out. I think that game is fine. Dark Moon could eat my entire ass, but Luigi's Mansion 3 I think was fine. But like, it still has nothing on the original. The original just has something about it that just makes it feel super unique and polished, and it's just really good.
Yeah, and I think that just like as a tech demo for what the GameCube could do, Luigi's Mansion was doing so many cool graphical things that I feel like it's one of the few games that really shows off like a generational leap in the way that like we don't see those really at all anymore. And even at the time, like, I would say that besides like the concept of going from 2D to 3D, I would say that this was probably the biggest graphical leap between generations ever. And Luigi's Mansion was the perfect game to show it off.
I think I might agree with that. I feel like, yeah, because before that, like, 3D games looked like the N64 and the PlayStation 1. And those games look bad. They look really, really bad.
The GameCube's also the first generation where I don't say, as a rule, games really need like to be in their original resolution with a CRT filter. Mm-hmm. This is where games like just actually start to look good when you just put them in a higher resolution and call it a day.
And also, like, this is the first generation where it's like, yeah, no, we have a lot of this shit figured out. We know how to do like 3D games a bit better now. Granted, as we'll probably talk about when we talk about Sunshine, there were a few things we didn't have down pat yet, namely cameras. But we wouldn't have good cameras until like fucking... I think somebody looked at it because I asked, like, when are we going to play when's our first 3D game with a camera that doesn't suck? And the main answer I got was Galaxy.
And the answer is Wind Waker, because Zelda just doesn't let you touch the camera.
Yeah, that is... Wind Waker and Twilight Princess, I think, will both be perfectly fine on that ground. But yeah, like Luigi's Mansion, still great. More surprisingly for me, not for you, because I know you were like, oh man, I love this franchise. I just never played it. On September 16th, 2021, we played Pikmin.
Yeah, Pikmin's rad.
Pikmin's really fucking good. I had a lot of fun with those streams.
I think I would love to see you stream more Pikmin games, because it, like, 2 has a little bit of issue of, like, just bloat where there's too much of it, but it still is, it's still Pikmin. It's still pretty awesome. And Pikmin 3 is, like, golden. It's one of the best games ever.
And I own Pikmin 3 too. I had such a blast with Pikmin, surprising even me, especially because we went in that with you thinking that I would probably hate it. Which I'm glad that didn't turn out to be the case. I think it might be my favorite game we've played this year for this show. I think it has opened my eyes to how I definitely, I should play Pikmin 2 and 3. And those would be fun to stream. So maybe someday in the future. We'll see.
I just want you to see how hard Pikmin 2 goes on product placement. It's like the last franchise you could expect to have product placement, and it goes so hard.
I don't know, Alan Wake is up there. With its weird Energizer shit.
I mean, Energizer may or may not be in Pikmin.
Oh, I knew that. I knew that Energizer was in Pikmin. I feel like I knew another one that was in Pikmin, but I don't remember.
I'm sorry, it's Duracells in Pikmin.
Ah, shit. Yeah, no, that's right.
And also, all of the product placement came back for the Wii release. They got all of it back.
Oh, that's super weird. Especially when you look at Alan Wake and it's like, yeah, we had to scrub every reference to Energizer out of the game to re-release it.
Yeah, I'm imagining like an email to some lawyer for Duracell, like, hey, you mind if we keep you in Pikmin 2 for a new release? And they're like, wait, what the fuck are you talking about?
What the fuck is Pikmin 2? Why is Nintendo emailing us? On September 29th, 2021, we did the Super Smash Bros. Melee episode. Which, it's Melee. What else can you say about it?
I think we said a lot in that episode. And, yeah, I would say that it covers pretty much everything.
Yeah.
Melee has an enduring legacy. It's a game that I love. And I think it's got many more years ahead of it. So, Melee's great.
I don't like playing it. But Melee's great.
I kind of don't either. I think it's a game that has advanced past me.
I am now too lowly a plebeian to enjoy the Super Smash Bros. Melee, and therefore I know my place.
I do, but it's like I love what that game is. So
yeah, I love everything around Melee. I can't play it. Then, we're getting close to the end of the year, because October 28th, we had Pac-Man World 2. Another surprise of, hey, this game's good. Huh.
It is pretty good. It's got some bullshit in it, but it's pretty good.
It's got some bullshit in it. Mainly Clyde is a general amount of the bullshit. But, yeah, no, that game was surprisingly fun. It was also really fun having Luke on, because we had been talking about that for a couple years by that point.
Yeah, I think he was one of the first people that was interested in being a guest, and it took forever to get to him.
Yeah.
So,
which, rest in peace, some of the people we have planned for games 80 something.
I mean,
sorry, John.
You want to look ahead? There's only one game John Raridan can be here for.
Sorry, John Raridan. You have to wait until game number 77.
That's how it is.
And Chomper is still an abomination unto God, and we shall not talk any further about it. And, of course, the last episode of the year, which we're not really going to get into because, hey, it's the last episode we released. Just go fucking listen to it.
It just happened, but we could get into... This has been the year of Kingdom Hearts.
It sure has. Hey, Matt, what do you think about Kingdom Hearts?
Boy, Kingdom Hearts.
It's a video game that a group of professionals made.
It's a lot.
Kingdom Hearts 1 and Chain of Memories are the only two we've finished with.
I mean, we've rolled credits on Kingdom Hearts 2.
We've rolled credits on 2, but we haven't finished with it. That's the difference. Kingdom Hearts 1 is a bad game.
And we were like, we could be done with this by the end of the year. And I feel like even if we hadn't gone for 100% in Kingdom Hearts 2, that was
fuck no, that wouldn't have happened.
Feasible.
We were fools to think that.
Yeah, that was never on the table.
But Kingdom Hearts 1 is a bad game. Kingdom Hearts Chain of Memory is one of the worst games I've ever seen. And Kingdom Hearts 2 is pretty good.
It's pretty alright.
Yeah. It's a fucking hell of a step up from the first game.
I still don't think the story's good at all. But the gameplay is definitely a lot better, and I understand like why people think it's so fun, and like once you really understand what's going on, yeah, it is pretty fun, but I still don't think the story's good.
Oh, you haven't even hit the jump the shark moments, the multiples there are.
But the jump the shark moment was when I pressed the power button.
What?
No, when I turned the game on.
Oh, you have no idea. Oh, we're going to get through Birth by Sleep and Dream Drop Distance, and you're going to be like, I was a fool, and I wish back for the halcyon days when this plot was understandable. Oh, the halcyon days when gravity could just be Oh, but that's the last game we played for the year. Obviously, Sunshine is currently in progress. You finished it. I haven't.
Mm-hmm.
So
I spent a lot of that stream saying I only played this game a year ago, and it's still somehow not as good as I remember.
I haven't hit anything outside of the Sandbird that I think is legitimately terrible. Mostly because you told me the cheese strat for the Manta. That probably would have been a moment I didn't enjoy.
Oh, yeah.
If not for that. The Sandbird sucked. The Sandbird sucked. I don't know what else to say.
The Sandbird, I feel like, is malicious design.
Especially
I feel like that. And then you get further in the game, and you realize that the Sandbird was a kindness.
It's all malicious design.
It kind of is.
Yeah, but we'll talk more about that when we actually do the episode. We can't give them all the goods for free right now, Matt. They gotta wait, like the rest of us. Real quick, rapid fire, like real fast. Let's go over the next 10 games and just like rapid fire thoughts on how that's gonna go. The first one is Metroid Prime.
Metroid Prime, I consider the Prime series a distinctly different series from 2D Metroids. I don't like it as much as 2D Metroid, and it doesn't have like pretty much anything I like about 2D Metroid, but holy shit, it nails like atmosphere and visual storytelling and environmental storytelling in video games more than like any other video game ever has.
I'm really excited to get to Metroid Prime because I haven't played it. I've never played any of them, except I think like 2 hours of Corruption back when I first got a Wii. I didn't play very far in that game.
I've been itching to replay Prime, so I am looking forward to it.
Yeah, I'm excited. Legend of Zelda: Wind Waker.
There is no such thing as a bad Zelda game, but this is the worst 3D Zelda game.
I really like Wind Waker a lot.
I just said there's no such thing as a bad Zelda game.
Yeah, but this is the worst one. Twilight Princess does exist, though.
Did I stutter?
I don't think Twilight Princess is bad. I think Phantom Hourglass is bad. There's your one.
That's true. Phantom Hourglass does exist.
Phantom Hourglass does exist. And the CDI games, as much as nobody wants to admit they exist, they are there. I mean,
they are games that exist as the result of a lawsuit. I think I'm warranted in not counting them.
Yeah, but Phantom Hourglass exists, so you can't say that.
I don't know. Maybe it's just mediocre at worst. Phantom Hourglass. I haven't like actually played through most of it.
I played it as a kid, and I fucking hated it. And it's still my least favorite Zelda, and I never want to go back to see if I'm correct. Fire Emblem the Blazing Blade, or Fire Emblem.
Yeah. This one's going to be cool.
I'm kind of looking forward to it. Save states are going to help a lot.
They sure will. A lot of fan favorite characters in this one.
Yeah, this is Lynn, and is it Hector too?
Hector and Elowood as well.
And not Roy.
Roy makes like a cameo appearance because this was the prequel to Roy's game, which came out beforehand. But there's no fucking way you're finishing that. So.
Oh yeah, no, I ain't. I've heard that you didn't even like that one.
No, so here's the thing about. I'll tell you the thing about Binding Blade. You have to babysit Roy because. Roy is like the main character. You know how Fire Emblem games force you to use the main character in battle, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, you know how usually the main character's like class change is story locked. So even if you hit level cap, you can't actually upgrade them until you get to the story part.
Yes.
You hit Roy's level cap around the time you expect to for like a character that you have from the beginning of the game. And then he doesn't class change until like the third to last chapter.
Good.
Also, there's another character that you're required to use who has a unique weapon that has weapon durability. It's the only weapon of its kind in the game, and it's the only weapon they can use. And you are forced to use them.
Hey, fuck that. Hey, fuck that.
Binding Blade sucks.
That sounds awful.
It's really bad.
So if you're wondering why we're playing the prequel and not that.
Also, because this is the one that Binding Blade never released in America. So
yeah, that also helps that this is the first one that did come out outside of Japan. F-Zero GX is after that. I'm afraid of this game, genuinely.
As you should be.
Genuinely, very, very afraid. I've played a little bit of F-Zero GX in my time. But, this game scares me.
It is fucking awesome, and it goes hardcore. Like, you should be afraid of this game. And that's why it's incredible.
Oh, it's certainly gonna be a thing. Gonna be fast. We're gonna go real fucking fast. We did I think, was it this year? We did a original sound chat on F-Zero GX. At which point, like, I think it was me or, I don't remember if it was me or Peter, but one of us was like, so this game's really fast. Think about the fastest game you've ever played. That's not fast enough. It's faster than that. Oh boy, that's going to be a hell of a time. That might be another abort mission for me, because that game I've heard is just balls hard. Pokemon Fire Red Leaf Green is after that.
This is our first mainline Pokemon.
And it only took 4 years.
Hey, I learned recently that something I did not realize, that this game is before the physical special split.
Wait, it is? I thought that happened in Gen 3.
That was Gen 4.
What the fuck? God, that happened so late.
Mm-hmm.
Jesus Christ. I don't think I've ever finished Fire Red or Leaf Green. I'm kind of looking forward to doing that. Because I think just generally going back to old Pokemon games is really hard. Because I like new Pokemon games. And also I don't replay games ever, especially Pokemon games, except for Crystal. That's pretty much the only one. But I am hoping that it's going to be fun to stream Fire Red and Leaf Green. If that makes sense. I think that's going to be, that at the very least is going to be a good time.
Yeah, Pokemon, I'm curious how that's going to go for me, because I've learned in my old age I don't think I like Pokemon anymore. So we'll see if I enjoy going back to an old one.
Yeah, I'm kind of interested to see how that pans out. But I'm just mostly excited for the soundtrack. The soundtrack in Fire Red and Leaf Green is very good, even though it's not as good as the original. Because the original is just like 8-bit perfection. But, you know. After that, we have Metroid Zero Mission, which means I will have gone from, as you pointed out one time, Metroid 3, Metroid 4, Metroid 5, Metroid 1.
Yep.
So that's going to be...
And you still haven't played Metroid 2.
I still haven't. And we'll see if I ever do, honestly. Like, it's going to be interesting. Sadly, that's our only other 2D Metroid game. Mostly because we're out of Metroid characters after that, except for the two that are being represented by 3D first-person shooter Metroid games.
Even that doesn't last much longer.
Yeah, even that only lasts a couple more games. I am tentatively looking forward to Metroid Zero Mission.
We should just, like, once we get around, like, the 3DS era, we should bonus episode Samus Returns just so we have Metroid to talk about again. It really emphasizes how long the Metroid franchise was dormant. That Zero Mission was, like, legitimately the last 2D Metroid game until Samus Returns.
Well, also think about this, and this will tie into the next game. Isn't that bizarre?
We did front load Mario a lot.
I mean, yeah, we did.
Those were like choices because, like, we made. In fairness,
those games were the ones that fit the best, and also Mario games just we didn't want to, like. I'm not going to play fucking new Super Mario Brothers. I think those games suck. And like Odyssey, we weren't going to do because that doesn't really fit for any of the Mario characters and stuff like that. So, yeah, we only have 2 Mario games left on the entire list. One of which we will hopefully get to next year, being Paper Mario: The 1,000-Year Door.
We've got a score to settle there.
And I don't know if I'm going to be able to settle it.
No, we have to. We have to. This is the one that we cannot give up on.
I've given up too many times.
We can't. We just can't. I've literally never I've never even watched the ending on YouTube.
I did.
I literally don't know. I know like the punchline after the credits of what the treasure was. But besides that, I literally don't know how the game ends.
I remember looking up the ending on YouTube and then putting it in my media tracker as like, it's kind of a weird choice for the game to end on a Bowser boss fight. Yeah, I am very much looking forward to Paper Mario: The 1,000-Year Door. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. That game's really good, and it's got to happen. It has to happen. All right, we're almost to the end here. Metroid Prime 2 Echoes.
I think this is the best Metroid Prime game, and you're going to hate it.
Interesting.
That
is not what I usually hear.
I don't think you're going to like it, and I think it's the best Metroid Prime game.
I usually hear it talked about as, like, the weakest.
The only thing that I don't like about it is that I think the visual style is kind of monotonous. But everything else, I think it's the best one. I think that there are a lot of ways where the first Metroid Prime game, I give it a lot of credit for being like the first of its kind, but I think that it also kind of falls flat in a lot of ways that Prime 2 does not for me.
Interesting.
But Prime 2 is also like way harder.
Yeah, that's the other thing I hear is that Prime 2 gets crazy hard.
Yeah.
So, yay.
But both Metroid Prime 1 and Metroid Prime 2 have the same, like, crippling weakness in the end game, so.
Rad. Can't wait.
Oh, Prime 2 has multiplayer, by the way.
Oh, right, yeah, it does.
So we'll get to play that.
That'll be weird. Huh. All right, second last game at Star Fox Assault.
This game's weird because, like, I think it's really good, but also it's, like, not. It's, like, not good. Like, it's weird.
I'm pretty sure my full experience with Star Fox Assault is hearing Peter talk about it on OSC. Which I believe Peter is actually going to send me his copy to borrow when we get there.
My thing with Star Fox Assault is that, like, I think, like, the game design and level design and all that stuff for it is really good, but, like, the game feel is really stiff. Like, the mechanics just don't feel as smooth and satisfying as they do in 64. even though like the overall level design is very much a return to form to what it was in 64. So it's a weird game.
And that'll be the last Star Fox for a while. Like, the last Star Fox till almost the end.
Mm-hmm. Well, there's not a lot of Star Fox in Smash Brothers, and it's also just not a lot of Star Fox in general.
So that'll be, that's another game with multiplayer. There you go. We actually have a good amount of games with multiplayer. We have F-Zero, we got Pokemon, we got Metroid Prime 2, we got Star Fox Assault. That'll be interesting. All right, last game. Probably the last game we're going to get to next year. Hopefully, maybe. 1,000 Year Door is on this list, so there's a possibility we will not.
I mean, by all accounts, like, even with the surprise edition of a last-minute JRPG, we should have been way further in the list this year than we are now. So, like, it looks like we should get further than this game, but we probably won't, just because of who we are as people.
I remember last year your theory was that we were going to make it to Fire Emblem.
I agree. We should have. By all accounts, we should have. Even with the surprise edition of the big Kingdom Hearts JRPG, we should have made it further.
To be honest, I don't think Kingdom Hearts was what threw off the timing. I think it was Animal Crossing. Because Animal Crossing caused us to, like... That's the only reason Puzzle League went for a month.
Yeah, and Stadium and all that, which, again, if I had actually, like, got that stuff done on time, but...
So, it's seeming like we will
Pac-Man also took us, like, a month, though, for, like, no reason.
Which one?
Pac-Man.
That's true.
Although that was more because we recorded the episode and then took forever to edit it.
Yeah, pretty much. So, we will... statistically be finishing out the year on Fire Emblem Path of Radiance.
One of the best fucking games ever made.
I'm actually really looking forward to playing this game.
And like
I think it'll be fun.
As long as you don't like completely hate this game, I would really like it if sometime afterwards we like sat down and streamed you playing Radiant Dawn as well, because in terms of story, they're very much part 1, part 2. I think that you lose a lot by not playing Radiant Dawn.
We'll see. We'll have to cross that bridge when we come to it. But that is what the next year looks like. 2022.
I'm so fucking hyped for you to meet the characters in Path of Radiance. There's so many good Fire Emblem characters from that game. Including, as of literally last night, the first canonical non-binary Fire Emblem character.
Yeah, I did see that. I did see you posting that. And then after that, we have one. That's our last GameCube exclusive. We'll be out of the GameCube era. Like, technically, yeah, Twilight Princess came out on GameCube, but...
I kind of count that as more of a GameCube game. Overall.
Yeah, but, like, it came out on the Wii, too. This is purely speaking from it released on the other system at the same time. Even though... Yeah, no, I kind of agree for the same reason why I don't think of Breath of the Wild as a Wii U game.
I feel like we're spending a lot less time in GameCube than I expected to.
Yeah, I actually figured that GameCube was going to last us a really long time, and we're already almost done with it. That's...
Well, you say already almost done with it a year from now.
Yeah. That's frightening. I don't have anything else to say about any of this. I think we should go ahead and wrap it up.
Mm-hmm.
We've been going a little bit longer than I expected us to, but not that much longer.
Yep.
Last year, I think, was like 45 minutes. I don't know.
Last year was 51 minutes.
See? Not much longer than last year. Anyways, everybody, thank you for listening. Thank you for supporting us for the past year. We'll be back real soon, hopefully, with an episode on Super Mario Sunshine, where I will probably talk about how this game hates me specifically as a person.
Also, Metroid Dread's the best game that released this year, and everyone should go play it.
Metroid Dread was very good. I had tossed around the idea of, like, I should ask what Matt's game of the year is, and then I realized I already know the answer to that question.
It's Metroid Dread.
It's Metroid Dread. Mine is a weird indie bullshit that nobody else played except for me and 3 other people. So, don't worry about it. All right. Happy New Year, everybody.
God bless.
Bye. We're going to summon this unnaturally good year to all of you, and you can thank us later.
You know, Crisis Core has also never been re-released.
Yeah, but that one can't be. Unless whatever that guy's name is, Gacked?
Mm-hmm.
Unless he dies, I guess. I don't know. I'm not going to wish death on a guy I don't know anything about, but that could happen.
Maybe they'll just work something out.
Would we go to jail for that? Would a court be able to prosecute us?
No, you're editing that out. I will not have Gacked die as part of our curse. You're editing that out.
You can't tell me what to do. Anyways, new Pokemon Snap is fine.